You're going to stay muted?
Yeah.
Well, you're not muted.
Look, all these people. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen and friends of Redlands Conservancy. Can you all hear me? I should be good. You don't have to be muted. I mean, if you don't make noises when you chew, or if your dog doesn't bark, or when you don't slurp with your wine, or beer, as the case may be with Dawn, then you're good to go. You don't, the mute, I don't know. Some of you are automatically muted, some were not. So this is going to be quite an experience. I highly recommend, unless you just like looking at the gallery, but you won't be looking at them for long, that you go to that tiny little thing up in the right-hand corner of your top right-hand corner of your black screen where it says view. And I highly recommend you go to the speaker view, click on that, and then you won't have, you won't have to find out who it is talking, although I don't understand why we have Scott in instead of myself, but anyway, that's what I've got. So let me try that again. Let's go back to gallery. So we're going to be having people come in. Our administrative assistant, Erica, will be admitting them so that we can go ahead and get started. I think in this 1 hour that you will be able to, feel like you learned a little bit about what Redlands Conservancy's been doing for the past year. It's been quite a year, as you can imagine. So we're going to be able to show you, I think, give you a report of what happened in 2020 and also give you a little bit of an outlook for 2021. And as odd and peculiar as 2020 was, it was remarkable how we were able to survive. But I will say at the outset, and then as we go along, that it was remarkable, but it was only because of all of you that we were able to survive and do as well as we did. So let me see if that's still working. Nope, no, very interesting. Okay, so with that in mind, our housekeeping is I'm recommending you go to speaker view. You can be muted or not. If your dog barks, or your phone rings, put it on mute if you can. And then if you have questions, you can use the chat thing that's at the bottom of your black screen and type in a question, but do address it to just, Redlands Conservancy. And then that way, either I will pick it up or Erica will pick it up, and then we can do those all at the end. So with that in mind, let me see if we can make all this work. So I'm going to go to share screen, host decided, disabled participant share screen. All right, Erica. This isn't working. Erica, I need you to let me share the screen. This is what happens when the other host starts the meeting, and so can I share screen yet?
Yes, go ahead.
No, still says host disabled.
Try again.
Aha, there we go. Here we go. Share. Okay, so we're gonna put this on this deal.
She's under pressure.
There we go. And here we go. So we're talking, the Redlands Conservancy has been around, as you know, since 1994. And I want you to meet the executive officers who were yet again approved or by the board of directors to be to be executive officers. President Robert Dawes, he's the one on the left, on your left, not stage left, but on your left. That's Robert. Now I have to tell you that this picture was taken in about 2003. So that's about 18 years ago. Just in case you wanted to know why we look different than we do today. Our vice president is Dr. Don Grenda. He's the one on the right, not that you could really tell, doing what he does best, except for drinking, I think. And as our secretary is Kathy Behrens, and she's the one on the left. And then there's our treasurer, Christine Brown, who I'm not quite sure if she knew what she was saying when she said, sure, I'll be treasurer. But she is, and we're ever so pleased. And then President Emeritus Bob Clark, he's the one on the right in this image, on our right. And he said when he was president for 17 years, he was the founding president, and he said when he became president emeritus, he says that just means you're on the board till you die. So we hope it'll be that long. So you should meet the staff. Our Assistencia General Manager is Heather Ross. And I have to tell you a story about Assistencia. The people have a great deal of trouble pronouncing it, as did I. And somebody even recently called it the Existencia. So if anybody really wants to have fun with that, we can now call it the Existencia. But she is our General Manager. Our Administrative Assistant, Erica Saraya-Oliva. And your executive director, that is I, and I'm the one in the green shirt in this case. So now you've met our executive officers, let me say a few thank yous, which is what I like to do once we start our annual meetings. The City Council of Redlands in 2020 was different from what it is today. Mayor Paul Foster, Pro Tem Denise Davis, Council Member Paul Barrich, Council Member Eddie Tejeda, and Councilmember Tony Mongberger, and all of these council people have been outstanding supporters of Redlands Conservancy. And we have a new council in 2021, Mayor Paul Barrich, still the Paul, still an apostle, Mayor Pro Tem Eddie Tejeda, Councilmember Paul Foster, Councilmember Denise Davis, and new Councilmember Jenna Guzman. So we are very grateful to these people, and because we rely, with the work that we do, we rely on their support. Thank you also goes to the City of Redlands staff, especially Director Chris Boatman of Facilities and Community Services Department, used to be called the Quality of Life Department, Citrograph, who prints pretty much whatever we want, whenever we want it. Soren McAdams, CPAs, who does our payroll and our taxes. Redlands Community News, which publishes our articles every week, almost every week. And Esri, which has been a supporter for Redlands Conservancy since 1994. Just to show you, these are the other civic groups that we cooperate with. Now you can read them for yourselves, but some of them are very local, like the university, the Service Club Council, the Historical Society. Some of them are beyond that. Crafton Hills Open Space Conservancy holds a conservation easement on our property, Rivers and Lands Conservancy, and so forth.
Somebody's there.
These entities are very supportive of us and vice versa. And we thank you to our own committees. If you happen to notice here, there's a stack of committees, and so that every board member is on at least one of these committees, and a couple of them are on more than one. But these are the groups that do the work, quite honestly. I just kind of point and shoot, and they do all the work. So we owe all of our gratitude to them. They are our volunteers, and they grab volunteers to help them out. They're an amazing group of people. You can look on our website. There is a piece that shows you how all of our Redlands Conservancy is organized, so that you can understand where all these different committees fit in. So 2020, a year that, and this was Kathy's idea, A year that seemed to zoom by. There is your board of directors. That is everybody. And the one in the mask in the bottom left, that's Bettina. And Bettina, I think, is the only one on the board now that was on the board. Maybe, and Bob Clark, who's up in the top rank there, I think. But Bettina and Bob are the only ones that are on the board now that were here in 1994. Well, that is, after all, 27 years ago. So they're entitled, you know. So just, I want to go through this quickly. The 2020 goals, just to see how we did here. Our goal was to open the west reach of the Zonha Trail between 7th Street and Church Street. Well, that didn't happen, and it was nothing to do with COVID and nothing to do with us, but the contractor, our contractor, had to wait for the railroad to finish in that area, because that's exactly the same area where they were driving trucks and working. So the contractor now is starting already. In fact, he's actually already got a check to start buying materials. Another goal, firmly establish the Asistencia as an event destination in Redlands. That has happened, and you will hear that report shortly. More than 50 events in the year 2020, when we weren't having public gatherings, were booked and performed, and we turned a profit. You'll get to hear all of that. So this is, you know, this is barely 2 years, a little over 2 years after we received this property, and we think it's quite a remarkable achievement. Uh-oh, somebody didn't turn off their phone. Uh-oh. There we go. I'll turn it off. So for it. Another goal, create a new trail in Hernkdal Keep Reserve. We have one more trail to complete. Well, that didn't happen, but even better, we found the old trail and it is now being restored. So that goal is being accomplished. Finish Redlands Gateway Ranch for Outdoor Education Center, Native Plant Demonstration Garden, and the Trailhead. This is almost done, and you're going to hear that report in the show very shortly. And lastly, to increase the membership in our Conserve the Future Legacy Group. And we are still working on this. We're going to invite you eventually to participate in it. Dave Maupin is working on this with me, and we think it will be a huge asset to the Redlands Conservancy. So here's a quick look. Volunteers are the ones, I've said this over and over, that make everything work. The individuals reported 5,426 hours, and I managed to report another 2,972 hours, and that totals about $125,970 worth of labor. Now, just to point it out, in 2019, we had 14,000 hours total for volunteers. Well, that's because we were putting on all kinds of events and fundraising activities, and we didn't have that in 2020, as you know. So, but our volunteers were still out there, especially the trail care people, and our outdoor ambassadors, and all the people volunteering at Asistencia and at Gateway, and these people kept us doing our work. So we have a membership and fund development report. Now, I did ask all of our people, I'm going to stop my share, I hope. Can I do that, Erica? I'm going to stop my share. But I did ask all of the people that chair committees to do their report for our annual report. And I said, would you please do it in haiku? So Kathy did. So I'm going to stop my share and turn it back over to Kathy. Now, am I doing the right thing?
Keep sharing.
Okay.
Keep sharing, because you've got my haiku.
Oh,
I'm
never
simply
mind.
going to unmute and speak for a moment.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, here we go. So we're sharing. So are you ready, Kathy?
I hope that this will be among the world's shortest committee reports. So here we go.
Okay. Oh, no. Oh.
Next.
Yes, I'm working on that. Okay. Oh, wait.
It'll be
There we
that
go.
key with the arrow on it.
Yes, there we go.
Fundraising is tough in times of world pandemic, but our friends came through. Our numbers have grown. Renewals and new members, 400 households. Average gift size grew. Friends reached deep into wallets, giving from their hearts. Total giving, wow, was 116,519. That's dollars, not donuts. We are indebted as each and every donor allowed us to thrive. And there's our total. In a year when many of our sister organizations in town were scrambling to keep their operations going, we were able to do really a fabulous job of moving forward with our mission due to your generosity, and we thank you. The average gift size increased to $295 over about 400 donors. So we are indebted to you and very appreciative of all of your contributions. That's it.
Thank you, Kathy. There you go. The world's shortest membership and fund development report. And just so you can have an idea of some of the beautiful sites that we take care of, this is San Mateo Nature Sanctuary. Let me briefly address Erica. I show 7 people have entered the waiting room. Are you working on, do I have to let them in, or are you going to let them in?
Yes. Yes, you
Yes,
have to
what?
let them in since you're the host now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm the one and only host.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. How did that happen? I know why.
Surely you're the hostess with the mostest.
Yes, well, except until we, until we do, we actually practiced. You might have trouble believing that, but we did practice. Okay, so let me carry on here. San Mateo Nature Sanctuary in the autumn, late autumn, Asistencia. This is the entrance to San Mateo Nature Sanctuary. This is the San Mateo Nature Sanctuary again, and this is a photo by one of our outdoor ambassadors, Mason Einhorn, with the rain. This was taken this last winter. And Zonha Park, which is something that we were very instrumental in creating. So, did we make progress on our own projects? Well, let's see. Gateway Ranch Outdoor Experience Headquarters. The Gateway Gardens grew up during this 2020. It actually was started in late 2017, and they started by covering all of this pasture with cardboard and to kill the weeds, and then laying mulch over that. And then the next spring they started planting, and within 2 or 3 years, this is what we have out there. And if you go out there now this spring, even though we didn't have much rain, you'll be able to see pretty much this same view in our native plant demonstration garden. The Ed Shed, Ed is education, shed matured from what you see on the left there, the top left, to this building here. It's actually the same building, and we have just completely renovated. And when we open this garage door here, you will go into the outdoor education center, what we can use. It's in fact, the air conditioner, the mini splits came today, and our contractor will be installing that, so we'll be able to do programs in there, rain or shine. So we have what we call the watering hole, and it's actually the backyard of the ranch campus. And we just installed these shades, and this is a farm table that our caretaker Mike Franklin has made, and we're trying to protect it there to keep it from getting damaged by the rain. And this is where we'll be holding our outdoor events. And if you were to look farther on the left here, you would see our outdoor kitchen, which is just about done. And that's going to be a place where the public can gather and you can come and have your own events in public, picnics. So there, you notice a couple of these giant boulders here. Well, the city staff actually brought them to us, and they are in our garden in the back in the watering hole area. And we're going to be using these to inscribe the names of our major donors, the names of all of our volunteers, and the names of our contractors. So we're working on that part of the project. Then we also partnered with the University of Redlands professors and students and the Regional Conservation Authority of Riverside County to conduct a research project. And we're doing the project, but we're doing it on their property, which is absolutely just on the south side of the Gateway Ranch campus. This is a really outstanding opportunity to experiment. What they're trying to understand is what are the best practices for non-chemical weed abatement strategies in these outdoor in these open space environments. They're going to try 4 different techniques, and this has all been approved. They're going to be writing it up. So it's really a super opportunity that we have to make kind of a difference. And then this picture at the top was taken by Dave Maupin, but it's showing it looked like a bunch of little ants there, but they're actually our volunteers that came out on the last day before lockup in March of 2020. And we had a grant from SoCal Gas to which funded us purchasing 100 trees. These are all native trees, mostly oaks, and planting them at Gateway Ranch. And these now, you can see in the bottom picture, they are looking, this was, I think, taken probably 4 or 5 months ago, and they are growing very rapidly. And that's because they're being irrigated, which was part of the project. And that's a very expensive part of the project. So we also have Assistencia. This is one of our huge, well, it's our headquarters. So I'm going to stop my share, I hope. And no, there we go, stop my share. And Heather's going to take over.
Whoops. Shirley, you've got to disable host disabled attendees sharing screen.
Well, then Erica has to do that.
Okay.
Because she took over. Erica, can you do that?
You're the host now, Shirley.
Tell her how to do it. Shirley, you go to the top 3 little buttons on
Yes,
whoever
well, I'm not having those anymore.
Okay,
So, so much for practicing. I'm still on my, I don't know about the rest of you. Are you? I'm still on my, on the slideshow.
No, we're seeing you. You've stopped screen sharing, but you need to allow screen sharing by others.
Yes, I understand that. All right, we're going to do this.
So Shirley, if you go to where it says share screen.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay.
I really do.
Okay.
Okay, so it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
It shows Redlands Conservancy as the host now. I got that just came up. So I don't know if that's now Erica.
Yeah, I switched real quick here. All right.
Okay, are we ready?
New world.
Are you doing it, Erica?
Okay, there we go. Go ahead. Does that work now, Heather?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope. Yes, there we go.
Good job.
All right. Does everyone see this?
Yes.
You don't? Okay. All right, so, well, we're really excited about the Austinstancia and what we were able to accomplish in 2020. I think none of us ever expected to be in its second year of an event center and have what all of us came across as challenges and finding opportunities to overcome those and look at things a little bit differently. So with that being said, our primary focus for our accomplishments was to develop a new business path to promote the Redlands Conservancy's mission and really treat the Austinstancia as a business offshoot of our not-for-profit. So we gained community awareness and support, which allowed us to increase our giving that was given to us, revenue, and public involvement. So we will need to continue to have board and member support for it to continue to remain flexible and autonomous in executing its services. And the ways that we worked last year to work on that community involvement engagement was to have our first bridal fair at the Austinstancia, promoting local businesses. And we had 21 local vendors, over 300 prospective clients show up for the first time. And of course, it was January 26th. And right after that, when everything was starting to move forward, COVID made it a little bit more challenging for people to gather. But we didn't really have to worry too much about postponements of weddings, which was great. We just focused around all of the COVID guidelines. So we did do everything possible to mitigate risk and allow people to gather safely. And like I said, within the state guidelines. We also had Redlands Sunrise Rotary start having their weekly meetings. We had a few meetings at the Austinstancia before we've had to postpone that, but we are looking forward to having them come back. I think the proposed plan right now is in June. Mansion Memories, we were part of the Making It Magical online program, which again allowed for 150 family viewings through Facebook and I guess their Instagram and Facebook posting. So Diane Lawson, it was great to be working with her and being able to share our little piece of magic globally. We had the Citrus Blossom Market, which were 3 open air fairs. Again, all local vendors, all items that were made by the individuals. And we had over 2,200 patrons amongst those 3 events. And we're looking forward to having one again on May 2nd. So you can definitely show up. We also started 2 sold out events with the Twilight of the Austinstancia. And we are back to resuming those for this year. Just this past weekend, we kicked it off again with rock and roll, and we're looking forward to having some great events in May, 2 of them, and then continuing on throughout the rest of the year to, again, highlight local bands and have a great sense of community in a beautiful courtyard style atmosphere. We also focused on the restoration of our landmark. We did, again, focusing on that preservation and self-sustainability. We expanded our California Native demonstration garden. So now all of the entire front is blooming and it's gorgeous. So if you haven't gone out, come and stop by and see our California Natives in bloom, as well as pick up a little nutsedge if you want to, because that's still there, but we're getting it out. But it is beautiful to see. We've also added a succulent garden. We did do a bathroom refresh, so that those are now family style units and much more useful for all of our patrons to come in. And we are looking forward to having the Barton Room utilized to really highlight the upgrade that we did there, with it being a multifunction space with heating and air conditioning, recessed lighting, built-in speakers, and a drop-down screen. So it becomes a conference room space and meeting space, as well as an opportunity for receptions. The bottom line, how did we do financially? Always the big question. What you see is the comparison between 2019 and 2020. This is strictly from income and expenses, not from any outside gifts that we received, i.e. for the Barton Room improvements. That was a great asset to add to it. But we had income from 2019 from $23,000 went up to $74,000. Of course, our expenses also increased, but that allowed us to do some of the basic renovations and restoration that we needed to do. Profit and loss was the biggest factor. The first year we were in the negative by $11,000. We did almost a $30,000 change of direction for 2020, being able to pay off our debt to the general fund. And ultimately, from an $18,000 profit, we were able to carry that over to 2021 and already be $6,000 in the positive cash flow. Again, paid bookings went from 21 events to 55, and we are on target to do even more for 2021. So we're really looking forward to seeing how things go after another year, and without COVID limiting us in our opportunities for individuals to gather. Ultimately and finally, we've also focused on increasing our volunteer base. We developed the Friends of the Ostenstancia, and we now have monthly weekend cleanups. A lot of it organized by our friends with the Redlands Sunrise Rotary. We now have Janie Cole as our leader in charge in recruiting, and Jimmy, who is there always making sure things are organized and really working within the community to help with some of our functional operations, drainage, and that type of thing. We also have worked now with weekly volunteer engagements, and we have a crew showing up usually every Monday and Wednesday for a couple hours and really making a difference. So mark your calendar if you haven't already decided to come out and help. Our next cleanup will be on Saturday, the 1st of May, because we always love seeing everyone's smiling faces there and making a go of it, and you get to have a little bit of fun engaging in the dirt. And that's really the highlight of the report for 2020. And like I say, we're already plotting ahead with our goals for 2021 and making it even better. And let me unshare so Shirley is back at it.
Okay, thank you so much, Heather. And so now you can all kind of have a good idea of why we've involved Heather in this project. So here we go back to the full screen. And, you know, the Assistencia is an icon in Redlands. And we felt from the very beginning that we were extremely honored to have the opportunity to take on this challenge. And we had the board of directors that could take on the challenge successfully. And we are very proud to have this as our headquarters and to share it with the community. Other projects we had going in 2020, we had 2 big Eagle Scout projects. This is an overlook bench and interpretive sign at Herntdaki Preserve. It's a project by Daniel Roberts. You can find that from, this is on the switchback trails coming out of Oakmont Park. We also have the new entrance at San Mateo Nature Sanctuary developed by Anthony Ramos as his project. Another project that was successful, the interpretive signs at Zonha Trail and Zonha Park were established. The one on the left describes the kite-shaped track and why there is the arrangement of concrete pathway in Zonha Park that there is. That sign will explain it to you. And the other one is a sign that describes the plants of the indigenous peoples in the area and what they did with them. Another program that we had to sort of sideline was our outdoor education program. We had only one program in 2020 that was late in the year, and that's you see in this picture, where we involved several people in the seed planting. This was done in November, but we are ready to bring this back, and so that people can begin to enjoy. These are mostly held at Gateway Ranch, but not always. Another program, Trails at 10 guided hikes, that was completely shut down for all of 2020. We were not doing it in April of 2021. Maybe we can bring it back in October of 2021, but we do have a program which I'll tell you about at the very end, which is sort of to kind of fill in what we can't do with the trails at 10. This is a program that continued. Our outdoor ambassadors, they roved the trails, they repaired signs, they installed QR codes, which was our touchless way of people signing in. So as soon as COVID shut things down, we picked up all of our paper sign-ins at the sign-in boxes at the trailheads, and instead put this put this QR code out there so people could sign in without having to get any kind of contamination. They also cared for the trails. The trail that you see here is part of the Creekside Trail as it looked last spring. It was really a beautiful opportunity to be out there. Another program that continued was the volunteers. On the left, our volunteers cleaning up the area from, this is out just at the entrance to Santa Mateo Nature Sanctuary. And they were clearing it from non-native vegetation and then seeding it with native vegetation. And on the right, just right of that, is all of the buckwheat that is growing. The buckwheat is a native plant in the area, and it's growing all along there where there used to be just mustard, tumbleweeds, and goat head thorns. On the bottom left is a stink net eradication. Stink net is a relatively new invasive plant to the region, and it is highly invasive. And if you see those little critters on your land, you should probably pull them. And we pull them and put them in bags so that their seeds don't spread. On the right is one of our volunteers on that restoration project at Gateway, and he's getting it ready for their research project. More volunteer work. On the top left is a Boy Scout troop that came out to clear. Bottom right is a few of us who assembled at Gateway Ranch to do a mailing. And I think that person in the mask there is Robert. He's our president. He's always doing sort of volunteer work wherever. Trail care crew, they've continued to clear the trails, clear the shoulders of the trails so that they are safe and snakes don't hide in them and the weeds don't overcrowd the trails. These people are doing an immense amount of work that has kept our trails beautiful. One of our big programs was the Party for the Necklace. Well, guess what? We couldn't do that because the public wasn't supposed to gather. Well, out of the 18 in-person parties we had planned, we held just 2, including a hike in San Gorgonio Wilderness. And we kind of figured, well, we can walk at least six feet apart. So this group of us, I think we were probably about 16 of us by the time we all assembled. And we heard from one of our outdoor ambassadors, Libby Groom, who is retired CAL FIRE, and to help us understand how the lake fire about 5 years ago, how the land is recovering from that, albeit for many, many more years. So more of our pictures of what Redlands Conservancy is doing. This is, as you know, the bell tower. This is a site overlooking Hernkdau Key, and in the distance is San Jacinto Peak with this at the summer solstice with the sun coming up. I think that was a photo by Bruce Herwig. This is at Hernkdau Key Preserve. This is the springtime view, as you can tell. But it's a wonderful, beautiful place. It's just absolutely natural, and we have been able to conserve that for everybody. This is way up on the top of the mesa on the south side of Gateway Ranch. This is what we call the Sahatapa Loop, Sahatapa Trail. And this trail that we manage and maintain. And of course, Asistencia Courtyard. This is part of the Creekside Trail last spring, and with the wildflowers, in this case, I think the lupins that are blooming. Beautiful, beautiful sights. And the trail that you see winding around here, this is actually the carriage trail in San Mateo Canyon. And that very road was built by the Smiley brothers. And the very eucalyptus grove that's in the front here, that was planted by the Smiley brothers. So we are caretakers and stewards of the land and also of Redlands history. So what was new in 2020? Well, Zoom, as you can see, for our virtual parties, we were able to present, I think, about 3 virtual parties, thanks to our wonderful party hosts, for our various meetings, for our ambassadors training, for conference calls. Oh, and here's our newest member, Abby Franklin. This is Erica's daughter. I think she came on like the 29th of December of 2020, and we'll be recruiting her for trail work pretty soon, I think. So here's our outlook for 2021. We want to build our Conserve the Future legacy program. This is something Dave Maupin is helping me with, and we'll be giving you more information about that. This is very important to the future of Redlands Conservancy. We want to open Gateway Ranch for public events and activities. We're really, really close. We want to renovate the bridal suite at Asistencia. And we want to continue to participate in the city processes regarding the downtown and historic preservation. We do that. We want to keep going and have an impact on how everything happens in the downtown and the historic areas. So what's coming up? April 26th through May 31st. This is our substitute for Trails at 10, because we can't take people out in large groups yet. But you can go out there by yourself, which, as you know, you did probably in January of 2021 for the Fresh Air Challenge. But we've got a game called Trail Bingo. Well, you can imagine bingo, what that involves, a chart where you fill in the blanks. And it's called Be on the Lookout. And it's a self-guided trail activity for learning about loving the land. This is being developed by Libby Groom, and there will be good information in Redlands Community News on April 23rd. It will be on our website and ready to fly by April 25th. So we hope you get a chance to participate in that. So here's what else is coming. Let's see if I can do this right. All of these events, you're going to register on eventbrite.com. I'm going to show you, I hope, how easy this is to do. So you go to whatever screen you have that shows all these things, and up there you're going to type in Redlands Conservancy event. Sorry, my event. I know it says it's right there. brite.com, and it will take you right to the very page. And look at that. And when you come do that, you can sign up for any one of these things. Well, you're already here for the annual meeting. Havana Social Club is a party on May 7th. This is an online party, and it will be a demonstration and a playful demonstration of mixing various drinks. North Bench Band, this is a Twilight Jam at Asistencia on May 16th. Water Tower is another Twilight Jam at Asistencia. And then on June 27th is our, so we call it Party 18 because that was been the 18th party of the 2020 collection. Chocoholics United, we're going to hold it. So that's how easy it is to go to Eventbrite and sign up for these various events. So let me go back to our, there it is. Here, there we go. Got the right one. Okay, so here they are. It's coming events, May 7th, Party for the Necklace, Havana Social Club, and I just showed you how easy it is to sign up for that. May 16th, Twilight Jams at Asistencia. We had a sold out crowd this last Sunday, April 18th. So you'll be getting more information about it, but you can go, you can reserve that right now. Twilight Jams at Asistencia on May 23rd is the Water Tower. Let's see, come on, do what I tell you to do. There we go. June 27th is the party for the necklace, and that is in person, and it will be at Asistencia. Now, those people that signed up for it last year and said, just hold me over, you have first reservation. You're already registered unless you don't want to do it. Chocoholics United. June 30th, we're going to do a soft opening at Gateway Ranch in the watering hole for the ranch volunteers and for our board members. And we just want to make sure that everything's going to function so that when August 22nd comes along and you want to go to the wine pairing dinner there, you'll be able, we'll have everything ready for you. It's a party for the necklace. That's an in-person. We don't have it on Eventbrite yet, so, but it will be soon. And again, there are lots of people who signed up for that last year and they're still on the list, so they have first choice, but hopefully it'll be available for everybody to enjoy. And from then on, in fact, we're actually talking about having our annual social at Gateway Ranch in some time in the future. Date and details to be announced. Annalie, our events chairman, is working on planning that. And another one of our coming events, well, I shouldn't say another one, but every month we expect to hold Twilight Jams at Asistencia. So that should be something that's on your calendar and ready to look for on Eventbrite, redlandsconservancy.eventbrite.com. And you should be able to get in line for those events, and we will tell you when the annual social comes around so that you'll be ready to go. At Redlands Conservancy, as always, it is the people who make everything work. It's our volunteers, it's our people who come to the parties, it's the people that take care of the trails, the people that are doing the research, it's the scout group that comes out. It's the people that Martin Lemon, who is our volunteer land manager at San Mateo Nature Sanctuary, is that group that comes out and scrapes. Diana Lawson there on the left is, she volunteers at the Redlands Visitor Center, and she gives out more maps than we can make pretty much. And the people, like the young man in the right hand there, he's planting one of the seeds that we germinated a few months earlier. These are the people that make the difference. This is a group that actually came out from Holy Name of Jesus Church. This is a 2021 pictures, but it gives you a sample of the kind of people that are involved and make Redlands Conservancy function and work and bless everybody in the city of Redlands. Our first caretaker, Kermit Lang, on our, at that time, brand new mower, but it's been put to the test recently. So we thank you all for making our work possible. Everything you do, whether it's writing a check, giving us your credit card number, or coming out and planting seeds or cleaning up the trails, you are what makes Redlands Conservancy work. So, Erica, do we have any questions in the chat room?
Not yet.
Are there any questions? Good. Well, there I saw two. And I'm not seeing them now. So
Shirley,
let me stop my share and we'll go back.
Shirley?
Yes.
I just want to make a comment. I had the chance to see, as I know many of you did, the movie Our Towns by James Fallows. And so much of what he talked about was how communities that have struggled with things, if they make a comeback, it's because the regular citizens are involved. And it was just so evident that the Conservancy is a huge reason that our community works the way it does. And it was very validating. And I felt like,
wow,
this is just what we do.
Oh, great. That's super. Thanks for that. Robert.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I give a real, I thank you for saying something about the Redlands.
I didn't do it. You're
Visitor
muted.
Center and the volunteer there. And it really is a special place to share about the Conservancy. In fact, that is one of the most asked questions of not only local visitors, but visitors from all over come to our town. So if anyone is interested in putting in a day, a month, or a couple hours, I'm there every Friday from 1 to 4. Come visit me and I'll share with you how it works and how much fun it is to share about our conservancy at the Redlands Visitor Center.
Robert, would you like to say anything?
You said people who make noises when they eat don't have to say anything. That would be me. Sure, yeah. First of all, I want to echo what Shirley said about having to thank all the people who support us, the volunteers, the donors, certainly the board members, especially to Kathy and to Heather for the wonderful ideas that they've had and for their business acumen that's helped us so much this year. But Shirley's gone and done it again. She's thanked everybody out there except herself. And so I guess that's my job. I just have to say on behalf of the board and really everybody, I wish all of you had the opportunities that I have. Shirley and I so often meet with city officials and conservation groups and government and volunteers. She's out there more than I am, but I have a chance to watch her in action. And I can tell you, there just could never be anybody, any greater asset to our organization than Shirley Leonard. The job that she does is phenomenal. She's the only person the board holds accountable for what we get done, and everybody else reports to her. She takes on that responsibility, fulfills it in a magnificent way. And so, Shirley, we just owe you every thanks.
Can we clap? Yay!
Oh, you're very kind, and it is a joy, and it's a job that is fabulous. You know, I don't. I think that's not what I wanted to do. So that's what I wanted to do. It's a job that everybody should have the opportunity to have because it's wonderful. So there is a chat. Mason is asking about the overall budget, and so I don't have that in my hot little hand, but the annual report is for 2020 is almost finished. I have a few more things to polish up, and then we're going to put it online, and that will have the whole budget report for 2020 and also the financial statement for us, so that you'll get this chance to see how we're doing. I know we have an endowment that's about $750,000. That is actually not for us to use and spend to take nice trips, but it's to support the management of the Judson Brown property, which was established by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service as a mitigation site. So, but it's an asset for us, and we have property, and we have people, which to me is the very best asset. And I don't think that they have any value to you, because you are all invaluable and irreplaceable, and we thank you. And if we don't have any other questions, I don't see anything, or any other comments that are decent. Are we good to go? Okay, here we go. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good evening. Take care of yourself. Stay well.